Hey guys, so this is a discussion type video that you guys might want to check out. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you guys want to participate in these discussions, I'll leave my Twitch link on the description. Come hang with me there, and hope you guys enjoy. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. But yeah, I wanted to play Genshin and then Tower Fantasy today because, well, there's been a lot of comparisons between the two, right? Some people think that Tower Fantasy is more fun. Some people think that it's Tower Fantasy is just a cheap knockoff of Genshin. I agree with the first, not with the second. Tower Fantasy is fun. I think it's a game that's designed to care about the players more so than this game. I will be completely honest. But is Genshin not fun at all? No. But I don't think it's as fun as Tower Fantasy. Mainly because, to be completely honest, the goal of Genshin is to make money. I think at this point we can't really pretend not to see that anymore. It gives us a pretty good product. It is more clean than Tower Fantasy. But the goal of this game is to make attractive characters and give them acceptable amounts of lore. And not acceptable, well, to some acceptable, but you know what? I prefer the minimum amount of lore. Some haven't even gotten any yet. The amount of skill or power we can give those characters matters to a very small amount in Genshin Impact. I will tell you right now, with Tower Fantasy, even if I only have like what, 10, 12 hours of gameplay of Tower Fantasy, I've already felt content that I know I need to get as strong as possible just so that I can be a good member of my team when we fight something. Tower Fantasy is an MMO. It's not pretend multiplayer like Genshin. Genshin is definitely pretend multiplayer. So it's pretend multiplayer. It's basically just multiplayer so that sometimes we can interact, but Genshin is a solo game. Granted, Tower Fantasy borrowed elements from Genshin. But the world itself, Genshin is prettier. But I will tell you right now, I had more fun exploring Tower Fantasy's open world than Genshin. For one reason. It's because you are rewarded more. Absolutely. With exploring the world. Like, for example, in Genshin, okay, you see this area right here? You can see what I can loot here. Right here, right? You know what I can loot here? This mint. Right? I don't know if I've ever used that mint other than cooking, but there's like a mint. That is what I can get throughout the next span of this place. Right? Up to there. Right? It's mint, plant, and some rocks. Right? That's what you get. In Tower Fantasy, I'll probably show a video of this while I'm talking. There's one box over there, thank God. In Tower Fantasy, you see that those two boxes? That's repeatable. Like there's another two boxes over there. There's another two boxes over there. There's probably one under me. There's one behind me. It just rewards you more. And when you finish it, you don't get 5 primo gems from a book and then get 100%, 80%, whatever. No, you get shit. Like, you get pulls, you get upgrade materials, and you get skins for your character. Growing in Tower of Fantasy is way more fun in Genshin. And in Genshin, character growth, like your character getting stronger, you getting better at the game, hardly matters in Genshin. In Tower of Fantasy, you have to be strong. because you will fight big mobs of monsters and you want to be an effective DPS, shield breaker, or healer. Like that's a thing in Tower Fantasy. The two games are similar. I would say they're a little too far to actually be compared to each other, even though they have similar things. But I will tell you this: you getting to 80, level 8 your talents, and just the first right main stat artifacts in Genshin, you can finish most of the important content in the game. You can beat every world boss. You can beat every story quest. In Tower of Fantasy, once you get to that point, you've just started. You've just started, and you have to do that with different elements. You have to do that with... the elements here are a thing, right, in Genshin? But it's just another way to get a little bit more numbers. It's not... It's not a requirement. There's specific characters that break general shields in Tower Fantasy. Like here in Genshin, you just do the right swirl, right? That's the best way to get rid of a shield.
Fate is upon you.
You just fucking like on a fire, you just swirl a Hydra. That's it. But like in Tower of Fantasy, it's very different. I think those two games can't really be compared. Well, after I played a bit of Tower of Fantasy though, I did find getting into Genshin a little refreshing. Not like deadly why am I here feelings anymore, but I felt refreshed. And I think that's because there are some good in this game that I took for granted. Like the graphics are much more like clean and refined in Genshin. The fighting is much more simple, right? Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Genshin kind of has a similar like auto attack system, but doing auto attacks even with Eula, who is basically the best auto attack unit in Genshin, feels a little dead in Genshin. Whereas in Tower of Fantasy, auto attacking is kind of wild in that game. I really enjoy it. So yeah, I think those two games they're similar, but I think some people will prefer the other from whichever one they like more. It's fine. Both games are good, I think. But I just feel like, honestly, the way I feel about it, okay. I was thinking about this in my head the other day, right? Genshin's kind of like the really pretty girl you like that lets you buy her stuff, but she never, like... like, she keeps you around. But deep inside, you know she'll never, like you the way you do, right? But, you know, she pretty as shit. You know, she likes it when you buy her stuff. But for Tower of Fantasy, that game makes you feel special, man. That game is the girl that is like your best friend. You know, she's kind of cute, right? She's the girl next door you haven't really been thinking about, but you know. That's what I would say. That's the best way I would compare these two if I have to. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll see in a bit, right? I'm gonna get into Tower Fantasy after I do commissions and maybe a little bit of the Golden Apple. And I don't know, maybe it's just the rewards, man. Cause like Tower Fantasy gives you like 3 pulls every time you do anything. It's fucking sick. Here in Genshin, you get 20 primos. You get almost well, not really even close to a pull, but we're on our way there, I guess. It really weirdly is important to give proper rewards for player retention, I would say. And like this too, right? I don't know why. even though Tower Fantasy is uglier, and their dialogue is so much more robotic, and the voice acting isn't very good, I don't feel like, oh my god, stop talking, like I do in Genshin. Like, in Genshin, I'm just like, shut up and let me do my commission. It's like, don't speak, please. I think that might also be because of the smaller rewards, man. You know, it's a thing, it's real. But you also I don't think if Genshin just starts rewarding you a lot is gonna fix things. I don't know, because it's gonna be kind of weird, because you already know, like, oh, you're doing this because the game's not doing as good, or you found out the other game does better. I don't know, it just, they're kind of stuck in a tough place right now if they're gonna compete with that. Genshin's pretty. I think it should just get prettier. Just get prettier so that people want to go through shit more. If you want real retention, make an unlimited, like, I don't know, like boss rush or any kind of repeatable content for like late game players. Honestly, rather than Infinite Spiral Abyss, which is what most people like think is good for endgame Genshin, I would want raids. I don't know. I want like a giant Whopper flower. And like people need to do like, I don't mind the giant telegraphs, I actually like those. But like, let us do, like, you need to have a cycle, right? You need to have a cycle of damage where maybe something similar with the shields, with the Primo Vishap. The mechanic here, right? So like everyone has to bring a Zhongli or a Diona, right? Or if some people wanna like pro at it, like go super pro at it, like do Beto, right? You can do some cool shit like that. You know, just make us fight like giant bosses somewhere. Make us fight the water snake, where I don't know what happened to that water. What was his name? The wife of the one that child summoned. I'm kind of sad that we don't fight that thing anymore. I was hoping it would be a boss we can fight weekly. But yeah, man, like, big boss where suddenly we need as much stats as possible. I think that'd be cool. I like both games. I honestly, I like both games. With Tower Fantasy, I'm looking forward to what else it's gonna give me. With Genshin, I hope it gives us content that makes me want to stay longer. Those are the two things that I feel about the two games at the moment. I like them both. I honestly still like them both. Yeah, I don't know. Like, either endless content for the whales, or like make C6 like kinda needed. Oh, that sounds bad. For like raid bosses. Either C6 needed or... That's the problem, right? The difference between C0 and C6 has grown so big that if you make content that needs C6, the C0 has no chance, right? Unless you make it so that 4-star C6s are enough, because that's a thing. I think people even who are free to play have like C6 4-stars. So we'll see, man. Yeah, there's a lot of comparison between the two at the moment.
We're way behind schedule.
I remember the first... Whenever I feel like I don't like Ganya, I remember the first time we see her on the roof here. She was here. Let me see if I can recreate that scene.
Into the wind.
Like, we're eating with Zhongli, right? And she's up here. It has its moments, man. This was the first teaser, right, from Genshin, where you're done with the first part of your first adventure in Liyue, and then the first part stops. There's no more Archon quest, and then Ganyu like does this, and you're like looking so like you're super excited about what's to happen next. I feel like Genshin needs more of that again too, right? Like when Ganyu jumped up here, I was like, I fucking want a Ganyu. I don't know what she does. I don't care if she's a healer, but that was sick. You know. I'm looking forward to Sumeru. I hope. I like that there's no more normal. It looks like we won't be fighting just Helly Trolls. It looks like we have like animals to fight, which I think is pretty cool. I like how the what's their I keep forgetting their names. The Harbingers. Yeah, the Harbingers are like introduced and are now gonna be a threat for Sumeru. Which is gonna be cool because this is technically the midpoint in Genshin. And like I was watching a what was his name? Maximilian. I was watching Maximilian when he was about to see the teaser for the second part of FF7 Remake.
We're way behind schedule.
And he was mentioning that the middle of a game has to be the part where we get wrecked. It's where all of our characters that we care about are gonna be in a horrible spot. And it's not gonna be a happy time. But it's going to be like the climax of the game. Right? You know? It's where shit goes down basically. And I think that's super sick. So if Sumeru is where shit goes down, I'm looking forward to it. Right? I really want this game to do well. But I will admit, at the very least for the first 10 hours, comparing 10 hours of Genshin to 10 hours of Tower Fantasy, I will say one thing. I had to put in $100 or maybe, yeah, around like $60 to $100 to get my first 5-star in Genshin when I first started. And that was after like a week of gameplay. I played Tower Fantasy for 2 days and I have 2 of the highest rarity. You get one after 30 pulls. You get one on... I got one on the way to 80. And I'm so close to 80 now, and the game says I will for sure get one more on 80. So... Tower Fantasy is a more generous game. I would say less tested, less smooth. Yeah, there's a bunch of bugs. But that is because it's an MMO. Like there's people running around in your main world. It's not just this. Like while I'm doing this, there's a dude drowning over there. There's a dude on a fucking surfboard over there. It's an MMO. Tower Fantasy is closer to an MMO. It's I guess a lower caliber MMO, if that makes sense. Just lesser amount of people than other MMOs where there's like a shit ton of people. But it is an MMO. Genshin is not. Genshin gave you multiplayer because they felt like the players wanted it, but there's not much content for it. You know, I feel like it really is just a single player game. I prefer playing Genshin single player. So, yeah. They're comparable. They're similar. I think they're different enough that they're 2 different genre games, though. Yeah.
We're way behind.
Alright, well, that's about it. Those are my thoughts on the 2 games. I think they're great. I still enjoy both, honestly, out of everything I've said there. But yeah, let me know how you think about it. You know, I just want to have a discussion. I just want to talk. I'm down to, you know, reply to your comments and whatnot. I want to see what everyone else thinks and if we're hyped about Sumeru or if we're really looking forward to what else Tower Fantasy has for us. But hey, that's the end of the vid. Thanks so much if you were able to make it to the end. Basically just hang out with me through a YouTube video. I go live on Twitch, as I said before, like quite often. So if you guys want to say what's up and just hang out, play video games together, I'm down. Well, anyway, feel free to send me some love, like, subscribe, whatever. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for enjoying the video. Peace out.